Hello everyone, Carlos here again. We're on keyboard shortcut number 6, which is gonna be about Control Alt plus sign or minus sign. What is it for? They're for zooming in or zooming out on your spreadsheets using your keyboard. Okay, so right now I'm locating this key on this spreadsheet on the left. So now you can see, for example, E2 contains a number which is 179. If we would like to see it bigger, okay, we will have to press Control Alt plus sign, okay, and it will zoom in. Okay, check out that before I was on zoom 100%. Okay, the zoom was at 100%. When you zoom in with your keys with this keyboard shortcut, it's actually doing every 15%. Okay, so I'm gonna back up now and I'm gonna actually do it again. Control Alt plus sign. Okay, and actually look at the number now, right here, 115. If I go back up and then Control Alt plus sign, now it's 130. Okay, and so on. Okay, now the cool thing. This is a kind of very weird how it works, because pretty much you can think of the active cell, okay, this one that I'm right now moving, you can think of it as like the middle of a scope, okay, where you actually pointing is actually zooming in. Okay, so Control Alt plus sign, so you can see how the screen is actually adjusting, but it's adjusting to that cell, sort of like very staying there, you know, for making sort of focusing on that cell and getting as close as possible. So that's kind of cool, because I'm gonna back up now, Control Alt minus sign to back up. When you back up, look at how it does it. It does it more symmetrical in a way. So for example, I'm gonna back up again. I'm gonna get into 100. I'm gonna go to the next sheet on this workbook and say, for example, look at that, you know, very colorful table. I'm gonna actually select the whole thing, but I'm gonna select this whole table and I'm gonna zoom in, but look how it zooms in. It actually kind of does it proportionally, but focuses on that table. So Control Alt plus sign. Okay, look at that. That's kind of neat, because it's actually like maintaining some sort of proportions into it. So that's kind of cool. It's a cool behavior for zooming in. Okay, now before proceeding, let me just talk to you about the agenda. Okay, so we already know what it's for. All right, I think I already talked about it, for zooming in and zooming out. Okay, now why could this keyboard shortcut be useful for your presentations? Okay, see, this is what I see a lot. I see a lot of people doing zoom ins and Teams and other tools, Skype, Google Meet. And the thing is that they're sharing their screen, okay? They're showing what they're doing or what they're working on. But sometimes, depending on the, you know, maybe the internet speed and some other factors and how far of the, you know, depending on where you are on the computer, you know, your monitor, sometimes, I think most of the times, the screens look a little bit blurry. And I can even show you an example. For example, here, when I gave a presentation about Excel charts with dynamic arrays for Excel weekend, for example, I'm gonna make this bigger. You can see that I was sharing my screen, but I knew that it was gonna look blurry. I already knew. But look how it looks, and it's kind of hard to see. It looks very blurry. But later, since I already knew this trick, I actually zoom in into it, so people can see more. So I can see they can see more clear. Oh, sorry for that. So they can see the numbers to be more clear, okay, more legible, okay, because that will make it more accessible for them, so nothing looks blurry. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. This keyboard shortcut will help you to zoom in your spreadsheet, and eventually that will make it to look more legible for your audience. Okay, so now let's just back up here. Right now, how can this keyboard shortcut be useful for charts? Okay, so I want to present to you the work of Robert Mondale, and hopefully I'm pronouncing well your name, your last name, mate. Robert, he made a fantastic dashboard, which is a replica of Gapminder, you know, from Hans Rosling, the famous statistician that appears on TED, you know, who was very passionate about data. So he made a replica on Excel. Okay, so the cool thing, and I invite you actually to stop this video right now and just jump into his blog, because it's very mind-blowing, the stuff that Robert comes out with Excel. Really, like, mind-blowing. So he made this replica. He provides always the workbooks. Okay, you can download it from here, and I already did. I'm gonna open it. Well, actually, I don't have it open. Let me just open it again. So downloads, and I think right here, and let's just open it again. Okay, so the dashboard that we're about to see, okay, it has a lot of features in it, but I'm gonna actually focus on one, okay, and this is it. So kind of Robert puts you that you can run a macro and we'll show you how these bubbles, which represent each country, how do they move across time, you know, having on the y-axis the life expectancy metric, and then on the x-axis the total fertility rate, children per woman, okay? Now the cool thing is that I'm gonna actually activate this option, you know, trail right here for this bubble, which is gonna be the red one. And as you can see, for example, now you can see that, you know, you can even tell the screen looks a little bit like squarish, right? But if I zoom in with my keyboard, you know, CTRL ALT plus sign, it actually maintains that it looks neat. I mean, you can even tell the difference before and now. It looks very neat, okay? But the thing is now, what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna press here to go to this year, okay? And now maybe another year. Okay, check it out. You can see the bubble red was here, but it's very light leaving the trail. So maybe we can zoom in for the analyst and look at it. Look at it. It's kind of cool because it actually still looks very neat. The bubbles look very neat, and you can now see, I think, better the trail that is leaving behind. I think this was phenomenal work from Robert because you can now see, you know, where the red bubble was starting from year 1970 to what year now is, I think it's 1988. Okay, well, actually the year I was born. So that's kind of fantastic because now something that was very maybe hard to see from zooming out, you know, let me show you where we were around 130. Now if you zoom in, the chart is still gonna look neat and you can see it clearer. So that's why this keyboard shortcut is kind of useful for charts, okay? Especially where charts have a lot of details, then that definitely, you know, like let me just put myself here. Definitely this is gonna help, okay? All right, so we can see there, you know. Now the last point of the agenda is pretty much a small but potential helpful tip for your workbooks. Okay, this is something that I found out through experience and testing out a lot if it's really something that I can say that is actually a helpful tip. And it is like this. So when I receive Robert's workbook, I'm receiving it at 100%, which is gonna be like this, okay? But the thing is, like, and this happens with this workbook and many other ones, okay? Is that it's a little bit cut off. I can't see the whole thing. So my helpful advice is if you're showing dashboards or reports, leave it always at 80%. So this percentage right here on the bottom, move it to be 80%. Okay, and then if you go CTRL ALT minus sign, and then again, maybe you get it to 70% like I did because it was getting decreased by every 15%, but maybe you can just fix it with the mouse and actually go to 80. So now look, now the whole report of Robert looks is all covered up. Like you can see the whole thing, okay? Really is a small advice. I'm using Robert's example because it works good, but try it on your own. Leave him in the comments if it worked for you or not. But really, like if you leave your work at 80%, it kind of helps out. And this is what helps out. That if you send it to another person, I don't know. I've been feeling out when I send it to another person who has another screen of another size, or a TV, or maybe even a small laptop, that the whole report, when they open it, especially if it's a dashboard, they see it completely. Nothing is cut off. So I was thinking, well, 80%, right? I did it with another report and another report. I'm actually with Robert too. And I think it kind of helps out. So check it out, test it, and see, and let me know if it works, okay? Leaving the zoom in to your work, especially if it's a dashboard or like a visual report, leave it at 8%, save it, and then send it. And hopefully, if maybe try it out with a colleague or a friend or family, send it to them. If they have another laptop of another size, check it out when they open the file to see how it looks once it's open. Because the best thing is once you open a dashboard is to see the whole thing, that you can see it completely. Nothing is cut off. All right. And that's it for this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.